what I saw in terms of the 30 or so, 32 years, I'm in my 32nd year of being a lawyer. The big change I saw was in private practice was the increasing acceptance of women not only as being part of a team, but being in that leadership position. And I think that's been part of a broader change in our society that maybe has to do with leadership of positions women have taken in politics, images in the media of women running important things in our society. The change I saw was from a point where people would notice a woman attorney is representing this particular client to nobody noting the gender, everybody accepting, his lawyer, her lawyer is so-and-so. She's an excellent lawyer, and the gender no longer became an issue. And I think it's an amazing change in a relatively short time. As much as it's a tough job market, I encourage young women to go into this profession. It's a wonderful profession for women to pursue.
I would agree with that. I think we rode the rising tide of women in the profession, all of us, a little earlier, middle, just a little bit later than myself. And just as we saw more and more women join the profession, we also experienced women rising to leadership positions within practices, within government. We saw that. We were part of that. And also with the courts. I was just noting prior to our conversation today that it was not so long ago, actually it was 1996, when I was still in the Division of Law, and it was before Chief Justice Ports became Chief Justice of our court system, there was not a single female assignment judge in the state of New Jersey. That was not that long ago. And then right after Chief Justice Ports joined and added to female leadership within the judiciary, more things changed, and perhaps more rapidly with the times, and also change begets change. We now have a great number of female assignment judges, many women on the appellate division. And
presiding judges as
presiding judges in the trial courts. And look, at one point we had a quorum of women on the Supreme Court for a brief and shining moment where we could not only command the majority, we actually could act without the men being present. Not that we did.
Now, I entered the profession a little bit earlier. I entered in 1973, and clearly it was a much easier road for a woman to gain experience and responsibility by entering on the public side. And that's what, after my clerkship, that's what I did. I came to the Division of Law. And I look back on it now as to the responsibility I was given at that time. And I sometimes think it's breathtaking, positively breathtaking, the responsibility that they gave to me as a young Deputy Attorney General. But as I said, one of the reasons I thought about the Division of Law was I liked the work that they did. I liked that public aspect of the work that they did. But I also realized thought at least, that I would get more responsibility sooner. And I sure did.
No matter how easy it was, though, in the public sector, I think there, as well as in private practice, as you experienced, Justice Patterson, that it is still difficult for women in any job, but particularly in a client service position, such as an attorney, to raise children and balance a professional life. I truly respect the women that I worked with who raised children at the same time they were practicing. I try to encourage and support them as best as I can, even to this day when I see that in law clerks.
Judge Cuff is the mother of a young lawyer, so.
Two, actually. And I sometimes look back on it and say, how did we do that? And the we being my husband and I, because both of us working as attorneys, both of us having responsible positions, but we did it. It was teamwork. Excellent babysitter.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Yes, mentoring is, I think all of us have had the benefit of mentors of both genders, and who have taught us our ethics, have taught us our skills, have taught us how to be lawyers, and have taken an interest in our careers. And I think it's essential for women in positions that we are all so fortunate and blessed to be in, to mentor younger lawyers. And it's just terrific to see the next generation come up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And part of that mentoring is encouraging women to reach out and take on new challenges, right? That's an important part as well, in addition to everything that you said.
And helping to give people the confidence that they can take on responsibilities that they have never handled before and go out and make a success of it. Well, I'm inspired to read about, for example, the women in history who have done so much. And I'll put in a pitch for New Jersey and Alice Paul, who was so instrumental in getting women to vote and went through so many very difficult times to do that, and live to see the success of that incredible effort that she put forth. But there have been so many women in past generations who worked so hard to create the opportunities that have been a part of our lives, and that we've benefited from, and that future generations will benefit from as well.
Do you remember the symposium that the Rutgers did a few years ago, when they brought together all of the women attorneys who had been involved with so many of the groundbreaking cases?
Yes.
Include Justice Ginsburg was supposed to have been there,
right?
But she was ill. But she had been a professor at Rutgers, Newark, when I was there. And at the time I was there, they were working on all of these cases. And that day was just amazing. And you began to realize it had just become part of the context of your education.
Right.
It was an everyday thing that people who were teaching you at the time were involved in these groundbreaking pieces of litigation. It was very special.
It was special, but one of the interesting challenges now, and you asked the question in the form of how are we personally affected by equal rights challenges. I can't say I'm personally challenged because I'm in this wonderful, unique position on the New Jersey Supreme Court. How much better does it get? But I think that today, the challenges for women are much more nuanced, and we have to be sensitive to pick up on where those nuances might affect equality for women in the workplace. There was I think this past week, just an article about how women in the workplace are often made to feel as if no matter how high their position, they still have to be the one to take care of others around them in terms of being the hostess or the one who thinks to make coffee or tea for others, even though she may be the CEO of the corporation. These subtle pressures or subtle forces that make people think in terms of gender stereotypes are things that we have to think about and make sure that they don't get in the way of disparate treatment of women in terms of how they're valued for their services in a professional capacity. So the challenges, I don't feel them personally, although I feel on a personal level responsible for being attuned to the more nuanced challenges that affect equality in the workplace in the present day.